like I've heard it from some of my family members. Like they're like, I feel like it's just like makes no difference.
It makes no difference.
Yeah.
That's definitely probably one of the most commonly cited reasons why I wouldn't vote. Yeah.
Some people don't because of religion.
Because of religion.
Yeah, like my grandma doesn't vote because she believes in I don't know.
Okay, interesting. That's an interesting one. Yeah. Anyone else? Reasons why people wouldn't vote? There's lots of reasons. Definitely,
Maybe,
that is a pretty common. Yeah.
Maybe they don't like, they don't get like information to vote, or maybe they don't look at it, or they
Yeah.
don't care about it to vote. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they don't care about it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. If you don't care about it, why would you vote? There's really no
Well,
reason to. It's
some
not like.
people, like didn't notice sometimes at the day of the elections that elections were like, like I don't know, sometimes people don't care about it.
Yeah, lots of people don't care about it. And then also what we just read about, there's some barriers that might discourage you from voting. Even if you wanted to, you might say, well, I don't have a ride, or well, I have work. And so there's a lot of reasons why, these numbers are so low. So this part, is anyone here good at math? Any mathematicians in here? No, I'm not either. So. Depends what time it's pretty easy math. You want, okay. All right, you'll be my math guy.
What kind of math?
So this is what's called the voting formula. So this is a formula that is meant to predict whether or not someone will vote. So
P times B
the
plus
V,
D minus
the V stands for if somebody will vote or not, basically. All right, so stay with me, guys. So the P here in this term is the probability that your vote will change the outcome of the election. So the probability that your vote will change the outcome of the election. And then the B term is what benefits you would personally get if the person you voted for won. So let's say I went to the poll and I voted for legalization of marijuana or something like that. That just passed in 2016. And maybe if I really support that, maybe I'd get really big benefits if that won. So that is sort of what this first term is. Now, mathematician guy, what do you think is the probability that your vote will change the election? Your one vote will change the outcome of the whole election. What do you think is the chance of that happening? 0.001, which is basically
Nothing.
0. So there's not really a big chance that your one vote will change the whole election, right? Because most of the time, an election's decided by like thousands of votes, tens of thousands of votes, millions of votes sometimes in the presidential ones. So if this P is 0, what is the B? Because they're multiplied. What's 0 times anything? 0. 0. So this whole term is pretty much a 0. Because if you have no chance of actually changing the election based on your vote, then the benefits you get if you won would also kind of be 0 because the result's going to be the same regardless of whether you vote or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So then if we just think about that, the formula really becomes a little more simple. It's just V equals D minus C. Does anyone have any guesses of what these terms are? What is the D? If it doesn't matter, if you have no chance of changing the outcome of the election, why would you vote? Why might someone vote even if you have no chance of changing the outcome of the election? To feel good. Who said that? Nice. To feel good. Yeah. The D term represents any kind of emotional benefit you personally get from voting. So I feel proud I did my duty to vote. Maybe you belong to a group that didn't have the right to vote in the past. Does anyone know when women got the right to vote?
1920.
1920. Yeah, it was not terribly long ago, less than 100 years ago. So maybe you feel good about the fact that you voted. So that's what that D term represents. Minus C. Does anyone know what the C term will represent? What might discourage you from voting?
Consequence.
The costs. So the things that we talk about here, the cost of voting. So taking time off work. Maybe you lose an hour's salary because you went to go vote. Maybe you don't have a car and you have to pay for an Uber or a Lyft to get there, or gas. Yeah, gas, definitely. Even if you have a car, you still have to pay for the gas. What about the time spent to learn who you're going to vote for? You know, it takes time to read all the stuff and figure out, you know, who the heck I'm going to vote for. So really, when you get rid of this term, the prediction of how someone would vote is any emotional benefit they're going to get minus the costs. Does everyone get that?
Yeah.
That makes sense? All right. So you can plug in somebody's. Let's use Ms. Kloon. What kind? Do you feel pretty good after you vote?
Always.
Always. And then what about costs? Do you think you have a lot of costs?
Just a little bit. Like last night I spent 2 hours with 10 friends and we talked about issues and props that we're gonna vote for.
Yeah.
But it feels good to read that too.
Yeah. Feels good to read
It's
that.
not like I'm gonna lose money
Yeah.
and, you know, so there's
So
not
for-
really much of a cost for me at all.
Yeah, so for you the D term is really high, right? Maybe the D term's
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
And maybe the C is only 5 because there's not really a lot of cost for you. What about the person that's passage? Do you think after this, let's say they're going to vote next, thinking about voting next election, do you think their D term is really high after what happened to them? No. And what about their C term? Is it still pretty high?
Super high.
It's super high. Maybe their C term's 100 and now their D term's 5. And so if that means the V is negative 95, do you think they're going to vote?
No.
Probably not. And so that's kind of it's obviously, this is all theoretical, so this isn't exact science. But this is kind of the way we generally think about whether or not somebody's going to vote. Any questions about that?
No.
Cool.
Thank